I think that's right. What's going on, guys? Thanks for tuning in to Trade Skills. Welcome back. I took a little bit of a hiatus. Family comes first. Work comes first. Bills, family, work, stuff. You get it. You get the idea. But I'm here. Last week I finished up, at least to the best of my ability, I finished up this nice little cowboy alien situation. He was kind of just free form. I just felt like doing a cowboy alien situation. So anybody who tuned in for that one, thank you kindly. I find I get a lot more enjoyment out of wood carving. Like, obviously I had to do the old school stuff, you know, like carving bears, and which that doesn't look great, but you know, you got to start with your basics, get the fundamentals down, and then you can move on to greener pastures. You know, once you've kind of gotten the skills down, you can do other things. So I've been doing that for a bit. If you guys watched the show before and you're just now coming in and you're like, what the hell's going on? This guy's by himself. Yes, I am. I've moved. I probably should put this in a bio somewhere so people I don't have to keep saying it, but I've also kind of pivoted the show. So I'm, not really focusing on beer anymore. Interviews are still a thing, but I've always been drawn to people with lots of skills. I've always been drawn to skills, I would say that. So that kind of leads me to people who have a lot of skills. I find it inspiring, and I'm just a very curious person. So I've always wanted to learn tons of different skills, but I never really had the, I feel like I just didn't have the time, or maybe the motivation or the discipline, maybe all of the above to do it. But now I think this is a great time. So I'm on a path to Polymath. So this series is where I take a skill from zero knowledge to becoming somewhat proficient. So first up is woodworking, and I've started out doing just, you know, from the bare bottom, you know, very bottom. Bare bottom sounds a little risque, but from knowing nothing about wood carving to I wouldn't say I'm decent, but I'm definitely infinitely better than I was before. So that's a plus. Oh, hey. Yeah. Infinitely better than I was before. So that's cool. And then hopefully at some point I'll get to a point where I can interview somebody who is a wood carver, and then I'll move on to the next skill, which is probably, I don't know, sculpting. I would like to use something that utilizes some of the skills that I've already acquired here and uses them towards it. So sculpting, or like, I don't think I'm going to do stonework. Masonry would be cool, like doing mosaics, doing like faux stained glass windows, pottery. I'd love to learn how to sew and make things. Hey guys, thanks for tuning in. I'd love to know how to do all that stuff. So in time I will, and I'm going to pick up all of those things, slow and steady. You know, this isn't something that they say, 100,000 hours or something ridiculous like that to become a master or something. I don't need to be a master. I just want to be better than I was yesterday. It's a low bar, a low goal to set, but that's ultimately, I'm just a curious guy, and these are things that I've always wanted to learn, and now I'm learning them, and I'm learning them with you guys. So I think that is freaking great. And so yeah, I'm wood carving currently. So this is like a cowboy alien that I kind of just raw dogged, and yeah. I have to decide what kind of wood I'm going to use today. I can go with that, or I can go with a big blocky boy. There's pros and cons to both. You know, this is like a 1x1, and this is a 2x2. So 1x1x4, 2x2x4. You kind of get the idea, right? So this is nice because, you know, you don't have to take off a ton of material. And I haven't gotten into using like a coping saw. Some people will. They'll do the outline, and then they'll use a saw and just kind of take off a lot of the meat off the wood. That's not something I'm really like, hey Anna, what's up? That's not something I'm really like trying to do yet. There's a lot of the skills that I feel like the fundamentals that I would lose by just kind of cutting corners like that. I think once you become pretty proficient at it, I think then you could do that kind of thing. But in the very beginning, I don't want to do that. So this is great because you don't have to take off a lot of material to get what you need. The cons of this is that you only have so much material. So whatever you carve has to fit within this 1x1x4. This one, you've got a little more wiggle room. The only thing is you're taking off a shit ton of material. Even something like this, it doesn't seem like it, you know, and it's like a really rough little bear. I was kind of deciding whether I wanted to keep him kind of rough looking, you know, or so back here I used a Dremel to kind of soften him up, and then I have some of these edges over here. Some of these edges just kind of more raw and made to look like fur. So I was still kind of toying with that idea. I think most of these, as I get better, I might even just touch them up a bit, but that's where I'm at with this guy. I think he is pretty good to go. You guys that are using the blue platform or the purple platform or the red platform, thank you for tuning in. And if I don't get to your comments as effectively as I would like to, or you would like to, I apologize. You probably can't see, but I went on a trip. I was gone for a week or so, and I went on a trip and had my monitor plugged in, and then I came back and it's just like white screen. So no bueno. So I can't read your comments on that. I can get them on this platform, but blue, purple, red, those platforms, I cannot see your comments as effectively. So sorry about that. I'm gonna do something soon to remedy that, but that's where I'm at right now. Thank you for the likes. Thank you. All right. I always like to have a little something. You know, I've kind of ventured away from the beer as far as like doing beer reviews and stuff on the show. I love the way that the interviews go with having beer and having a guest on. And I might still have like something. A guest can drink a beer if they want to, or a couple. I can bring them or see if they're interested in that. But I don't want it to be the focus. I don't want it to be the main thing that, you know, I don't want the conversation to always lean that way. Oh, jeepers, mister. Yeah, this Guinness has been sitting in the fridge for a while. We had it whenever Alicia was making shepherd's pie, and we had a bunch. And I don't think she's made a shepherd's pie since my son's been born. So this has possibly been in the fridge for like, I don't know, 10 months or more, 10 to 12. I don't think this has been in there a year. It's probably still good though, right? I've got beer in the cellar over there some of that beer, I've got a beer in there for like 2008 or something stupid like that. I'm sure it's still good. It just keeps reading this as hearts. It's like, oh, hearts. trying to close this up. This is all like little tips and stuff for the Dremel. It's just not closing as well as I'd like. Bellissimo. All right, one of the first things you really do before I really do anything, I always go ahead and sharpen my blade. It's kind of like my go-to. So I'm gonna swap cams here for a bit. Yeah, that'll work. And then we'll dial this down so you guys can kind of catch a gander of that. Ooh, Guinness, out of the way, nerd. So this is, I'm basically like priming up this strop with some chalky residue. It's basically going to allow the blade to kind of get honed, get a little sharper. I'm toying with the idea, and you know, there's probably not a market for it, but any little thing helps. But I'm toying with the idea, since I am doing a show that requires me to buy things. So not counting beer or not counting gear, which, I mean, those can be factored in later. Anyways, but stuff like all of these blades and Dremels and things like that, I'm thinking about just like toying with the idea, and you let me know if this seems feasible or oversaturated, but having some of these things be buyable. So if somebody's on one of the shops on the platforms and they're like, oh, I'd really want to get into that too. If they decide to buy the one that I have posted on my page, I get a little bit of a kickback. Anything to kind of make this a little bit cheaper, because this is an expensive hobby for me. You have no idea. You have no idea. I know currently with this platform, it's literally just a phone, but originally, before this platform banned me from going live on my PC, it was going through my PC and it was going through better cameras. But cameras and microphones and lighting and tripods and PCs and multiple PCs, yeah, it's a very expensive kind of setup. And then, you know, doing the show for what, I don't know, 6 years or so, and buying, it was for a while there, it was every Monday, and it was 6 new beers every Monday. I mean, there's an extreme cost to that as well. And then, of course, we're buying all these kits. So whenever I do, you know, woodworking, wood carving, whittling, buying all the wood and buying all the kits, if somebody was interested in something like that, or they saw how I used it and they want to buy it, I'd get a kickback. Or if mosaics, they could look at the tools that I use for it and they're like, oh, I've always wanted to do that. They can get the stuff I have. They know that they can get the same results that I have with the kit that I have. So I'm thinking of putting that on there. So let me know what you think. All right, first blade up. Meaty boy. He likes him. And with this, you kind of want to, I had this side a little better stropped. You kind of want to keep the same angle the whole time on the blade to really make sure. And I want it all the way to the tip. Because honestly, if you don't put any time on the tip, you're going to really cause yourself problems when you go to do some really detailed work. Because it's just going to rip the wood, and that is not ideal. You can always glue it back, but it'll never be the same. So the idea with this honing this blade, or stropping this blade, as they say, is that you want to do this at the very beginning, the very end, and depending on the wood, every 20 to 30 minutes of like continuous carving. That's kind of the goal. To kind of keep it sharp, to keep your work intact, so you're not like ripping wood or tearing, to keep you safe. You know, you don't want blades slipping and slicing your fingers. So far for this this skill that I'm acquiring, wood carving, whittling, I bought a set of blades from Amazon. I already had a set of chisels, like really like minor chisels. I bought probably 3 different sets of like mixed wood. I don't know if you can kind kind of get that. Yeah, and they're just kind of bins like that. It's basswood is the name of the wood, so it's kind of a really easy beginner wood to learn with. And I guess why I'm doing this, man, I'm always like, just kind of a thought of mine. I'm always bitching people out in my head. I'm always seeing like stupid shit. So I was like, why don't I like talk about this stupid shit on the show? Like these hot takes or maybe unpopular opinions, or you're a asshole if you do this kind of situation. I've got a lot of them as a server because I've been a server for eons. So I've got tons of situations that are do's and don'ts, things that irk servers, that annoy us, or maybe just annoy me. There's lots of it, but I'm not going to go into the server one today. I just want to talk about just some random things that are just, I think, are dick moves, hot takes. All right. Let's test this blade. Not bad, not bad. Okay, that blade's good to go. I'm gonna put him here. Next one. This is my like little fine-tuned little blade. This is where I can get into little nooks and crannies. I like this boy. He nice. He do the job. I'm shaking him so much my damn Guinness is gonna come out of there. I saw some beer that I think I want to have on the show, and it's like unrelated to the show at all. It's just, I don't really drink a lot outside of the show, and I don't really drink a lot on the show anymore. So it's just a reason for me still to continue to drink beer, because I do enjoy it from time to time. Is it popular anymore? Not so much. It's really gone down. Thousands and thousands of breweries every year close, more so 2025 than it was in 2024. I think that's probably pretty good. We'll use a little piece of paper for this one. Yeah. So, hot take, dick move. If you were pulling up to a gas station and you park anywhere other than a parking spot, that's a dick move. If you pull right up to the front where there's not a parking spot, like right in front of the door, which I've seen tons of people do, they do that in Albany all the time, in my hometown, just to go inside real quick and get something. Just pull into a parking spot. That they exist there. It's a dick move. People have to either wait for you to get in your car to get by. Yeah, dick move. Another one is if you're not getting gas, don't pull up to the pump. People who pull up to the pump to use it as a parking spot just to go inside, I understand if you're in a place that's insanely busy. You're at a Buc-ee's or you're, whatever, and you got to go inside and there's just no parking. I get it. But there'll be people where there'll be 8 or 9 open parking spots and they just pull right into a pump and they're not getting gas. Like the gas tank is on the other side. They're just using it as a parking spot. That's a dick move. That's an asshole move. Yeah, don't do that. Don't be that guy. But, some people are selfish and self-centered, and they don't care about anybody else. And that's, it's a problem. Everybody knows that like not putting your buggy back is a dick move. That's a dick move. Not putting your groceries back if you decide you don't want something, just like putting it in a random spot. If you wanted to bring it up to the register with you and, you know, you decide against it, but you want to bring it up to the register with you and you say, hey, I decided against this, they'll appreciate that, you know? They'll appreciate that. They're like, thank God he didn't put this frozen bag of peas on top of the bread or on top of the fresh chicken to go, or, you know, like, it's a dick move. Just, you decide against it, so you just put it anywhere. Or like opening up food, like a bag of chips or something, and like munching on them and like not buying them. That obviously is a dick move. Stealing in general is a dick move. If you have any like hot takes or things like that that people usually don't talk about and you want to bring up, by all means, drop in the comments. I'd love to hear them. I need to make just a full-on list. I probably could talk about server ones because those are like the ones that are more, I see those more often. If I'm dropping off your drinks, right, at the table, I'm your server, I'm dropping off your drinks, and I've got, you know, 5 drinks in my hand. I've got 3 here, like this, 3 drinks here, and I've got 2 here. And I lay 2 drinks down, and they're like, can I get a straw? And you're like, that's a dick move. Just hold on a second. Let your server get the things out of their hand. You know, it's not like, okay, here's your drink, straw. Here's your drink, straw. Like, just let him put down the drinks, and then he'll give you the straws, or she'll give you the straws. You'll get your straws. You can drink liquids without straws, honestly. You can. You don't have to. You know, it's within your rights that if you want to drink with straws, you can. I'm just wondering how people made it this far in life, how we survived as a people before straws, because people act like it's like they just can't drink it. I don't get it. So yeah, wait till the server puts it down. Another thing, if I'm coming to your table and like just like listen, if it's like, all right guys, what else can I get for you? We need ketchup. Okay, ketchup over here for you. You said you needed a ranch. Anybody else? And then you tell me again that you need ranch. I heard you. I just said you needed ranch. Or if I was like, hey, I'll be back with some water. Hey, can I get some more water? Just fucking said that. I'll bring you some water. I just told you that. That's annoying as shit. Sorry, I'm like airing the server annoyances. Pay attention to the menu. When you go through and you read it, like if you order some shit on the menu and you don't like it, like if it's made right, you read the menu. That's your fault. That's your fault. If it's made wrong, by all means, you ask for medium rare and it comes out well done, or you ask for well done and it comes out medium rare, by all means. But if you ordered a specialty cocktail and you just said you don't like the way it tastes, but it's made exactly like, just make educated decisions. You know, if you order food and you didn't read in there that it had tomatoes and you're like, oh no, I can't, I'm just not a big fan of tomatoes. Can you have them make this again? Just like pay attention to the menu, you know, that's easy. That's like, you know, day one stuff. Just pay attention to the menu. Oh, my baby's watching. She's listening to me rant about, I said I was going to do hot takes, like talk about like annoying things that people should be aware of, or like maybe unpopular opinions. I'm not getting into politics because that's just like, I like having a house over my head, a roof over my head, and I like my family, and you know, so I'm going to keep quiet about that. But what is another thing? It's very annoying. Oh, I hate when people say yes, please. Like, hold on, let me clarify. If it's like, hey, I'll be back with you I'll be back with your margarita in just a moment. Yes, please. It's like, or hey, I'll get you a refill in just a moment. Yes, please. You're like, ugh, that's so annoying. Or people who like make you wait. They're like, hey, we're ready to order. Like, you know, after you've checked on them like 4 or 5 times to see if they're ready to order. And they're like, no, we need more time. And you're like, okay, cool. I'm still okay if they say they need more time. At least you're communicating with me. Some people will sit there and drag ass on the menu and kind of won't let you leave. And I'll be like, I see you guys are still looking. I'll be right back. But some people are like, hey, we're ready to order. And you're like, okay, you know, it's a 6-top. We're ready to order. Cool. What can I get for you? Crickets. They haven't made a decision. They just wanted me there to take an order, but nobody was actually ready. So I'm sitting there waiting to take your order, and all while I've got drinks dying in the window, which means I've got drinks getting warm or not 100% in the window. I've got food dying in the window. It's getting cold. And I just got sat twice while you're trying to figure out what you want to eat. So, you know, be decisive, make a decision. If you're not ready yet, cool. You know, just, you know, communicate that with your server, and trust me, it goes a long way. I don't know. I often, and I have since I'm 41 now, I'm often like, dude, I'm still a server, you know, I'm still waiting tables, you know. But honestly, I had big boy jobs. I did. But the big boy jobs didn't give me the availability that I wanted. They didn't give me the, I didn't have a very malleable schedule, and I like to travel. So I gave up on the big boy jobs and went back to serving. And, you know, if you're in a great town, I mean, you can make well over 6 figures waiting tables. And one of the perks for me waiting tables is because if I needed more money, something came up, you know, car broke down, whatever. If I needed more money, I could just pick up more shifts. So if I wasn't scheduled Friday, I could work a double Friday and I'll get the money for the repair, whatever. Or if I needed to take off, I've got money saved up. And if I need to take off for, you know, 6 months, not 6 months, okay, but 3 months. 3 months was my jam. 2 to 3 months. But if you want to take off time, whether it's 1 week or 1 month, it's super easy as a server. You just budget. You're not making money while you're gone, but you just budget and you let them know, hey, I'm going to be gone for 2 months. And they're like, okay, cool. Let us know when you get back. And then you can go off and you can go travel and do whatever it is you need to do. And when you come back, it's going to be waiting there for you, your job, you know, unless they're dickholes or you have, you know, you're a shitty server and they don't value you. There's a lot of things. I could probably do a whole course on how to be a good server or how to increase your tips as a server. And those go hand in hand. There are multiple things you need to make good money as a server. You need volume. So you need places to be busy. You also need, I won't say you need expensive food, because there are places that their volume is so high and they can turn tables so fast that they have cheaper food, but they can turn tables fast, which means a table will come down and eat, and within 20 to 35 minutes, they're up and somebody else is sitting there. So they're flipping tables and getting money and money and money. And if they're a good server, they're getting really good money. They'd get more if the food was more expensive, because people tip on percentages. But if you're in a country that you don't have tips and you're like, we shouldn't tip, that's a whole nother story. Yeah, having a set salary with no possibility of overtime is dumb, but you do have security. You do have security, and you have benefits, which I do not have, other than government granted benefits. But you have security, you have benefits, and honestly, you're doing something that is fulfilling for you. You're doing something that you went to school for and that you've kind of always had a love for. So that, that's great. I compromise with being a server. I don't have the benefits, and I'm not going to have the 401k, and I'm not going to have the health insurance unless I buy it myself. No, not in this climate. Yeah, you're right. True. We're not going political because we want to have a house. Is this true? Yeah, so server has its benefits for sure. I have seen a lot of countries. I've traveled. I won't say I've traveled all over the world, but I've seen a lot of great places. Probably for 10 years, I would wait tables and then travel, and then come back and wait tables and then travel, and I would just do that all the time. And I've seen some amazing places. I've been all over Europe, a lot in the States, Northern Africa. Hopefully some more soon. We gotta let little man get a little bit bigger. I can sleep outside. I'm not trying to be no refugee in Ireland in a tent with no bathroom, the smell of feces all around me. I mean, I would be in Ireland, but no. But yeah, so there are a lot of benefits, especially. Sorry, I'm getting off on a tangent. There are a couple things you need to make good money as a server. I said that you need volume, but you also you need one or the other. You either need volume, lots of tables, and an ability to flip those tables, turn the tables quickly. And you also more importantly, you need volume. But you need expensive items. Volume more so is important. You need volume. You can have, like some Italian restaurants, you can make a lot of money. People linger in them. But I mean, there's one in the town that we currently live in, and the food is expensive, but they don't have the volume because they don't turn tables quickly. So it's expensive food, but at night you might only have 3 tables, total, when I had 30, So yes, your food is more expensive per item, your units per transaction and your amount per transaction is higher, but you're not, your, what is it called? Your conversion, I guess that would be the phrase. Maybe. Anyways, you don't turn tables quick enough, so you don't make money. So there's a place I was looking at working at. It was an Italian place before I started the place I'm at now, and I started talking to some of the staff, and they're like, "Oh yeah, this is how much I make," and I was like, "That's it?" And they're like, "Oh yeah, man, it's great money," and I was like, "Is it though? Is it?" No. So I didn't have that one. So they've got expensive prices, but they don't have the volume, or they don't have the ability to turn tables. The culture of Italian restaurants isn't really like a fast-paced kind of situation. People linger. People want to drink wine. People want to hang out. So unless you're at some place like Olive Garden in a really busy college town or something, you probably could do pretty well there. I wouldn't want to work there. I like to take a little pride in where I work, just a little bit. And you should take pride in, no matter what you do, if you're going to do it, you do the damn thing, I might be a server, but I really try to make sure I do everything that I'm supposed to do. I try to do my best. I try to make sure at night when I'm closing or at whatever job I do that nobody has to worry that it's done correctly. Nobody has to go back behind me. Just have good work ethic. That'll drive me crazy at work too. There's a couple people that I work with that I'm sure they take care of the customer well. So from a restaurant point of view, like, that is great. The customers like them. They take care of the customer well, but every other aspect of them is a burden on all of those around them. So they take care of the customer at the expense of the other staff. So rolling side work is running work. That's something that you do throughout the job because it's going to be busy and you're going to run out of silverware. You know, you only have so many, and if it's a busy place, you're going to run out of silverware. So like when you get 5 minutes in between, start rolling some silverware. Just knock out like 3, 4, 5. And if you do that every time and everybody does that, you'll never run out of silverware. There's a couple people I work with, they will never, ever do that. They'll never do anything. If it doesn't amount to them making directly with the customer making more money, they don't want to do it. They want to get in. They get in as late as they can come in without getting in trouble. They want to leave first, half-ass their job, not do anything throughout the shift. So like refilling ice, cleaning up stations, getting more glassware, putting up plates, rolling silverware, none of that. Like I said, just a kind of a burden on everybody else around them. Don't be that person, you know? That person is not a person you want to work with. They are no fun. So that was my first attempt at a hot take, or just like unpopular opinion, or maybe things that people do that are kind of dick moves. It's my first time trying it out. Hopefully next episode I'll have a more refined version of that. But I probably should get into some form of a carve. I've got a couple things up here. I like using the lead pencil because mad scientist hair. Yeah. Let's go. Lead pencil here. I could do a little more with the lead pencil. So I think I'm actually going the smaller one. I'm kind of really wanting to dial into this alien thing because I really did enjoy that. I could probably do... I really want to lean into this alien thing. I really did enjoy it. So, I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to do. I probably should have planned this a little bit better. It's been actually a while since I've gone live, so I am a little thrown off. It's been 3 weeks, a month, maybe. Alright, I got a center line here. What kind of alien should I do? I don't think I'm quite ready for the gnomish alien. He would need to be... Guessing this would be the bottom of his head. This about be where the eyes are. Mouth, nose. That line was atrocious. See, that's why I have the lead pencil, so I can erase these. We'll see, this is about not quite 2 inches. Cool. So I'm gonna put one here. Get this measuring done. All right, carry this over. Boop. Boop. All right, so I've got that down. This is chin. All right, that's him. Doing 1 inch again. Trying to just block off the top so I can get everything kind of squared out. Sorry if this is like boring as shit. There's just I don't know. I'm used to having a co-host, so like talking to myself by myself is strange. Still, how is this off? What do they say? Measure twice, count, measure, count, measure. Measure twice, cut once. Is that the phrase? It's been a while. I'm going to take this off because it's inhibiting. It's looking nice and square. We got the front of an alien's head. Doing like these kind of quasi Dragon Ball eyes. Little nose, little mouth, and you get the idea. Side profile. Just get a little half point. So some of these woods, like when you measure, they're not going to be 100% perfect. Like they're not made that way. They're just kind of bulk bulk wood, you know, they try to cut them pretty precise, but you will find wood that'll be like, I don't know, just very, very slightly off. All right, so I got to think how I'm going to work the profile of the side of the head. So we know how the front of an alien looks. In this one, I have just very like leaned forward face. You know, I just have that image that they just like they all have like the severe form of scoliosis. So I'm gonna lean back into that. Either way, that's his head, so it doesn't really matter too much. That's not right. It's okay. So right now I'm just lining up kind of where I want the mouth, nose, eyes, center of the eyes at least, where I want them. So that's kind of the situation. So now I'm doing a head, and I'm going to do it. Their face is fairly flat. You know what? When in doubt, you just look that shit up. So let's just look up alien gray side profile. All right. So we want to really dig into that. Oh, those are much cuter than mine. Their face is almost flat as shit. So. Give them this big old bulbous. Yeah, they all have like bad scoliosis. That's nose. There's the mouth. All right, that's essentially our guy, right? So the front, the side, big bulby back head. I want this kind of like large, gross kind of rib cage with the back kind of protruding and these arms just kind of. So we'll see how that goes. All right, so since we have this part coming out kind of wide, I kind of want to make a note where that's at. And probably the ribs as well. Do some lines across just to kind of connect things, make them look pretty. Oh, love that. Yeah, so this is basswood, if I didn't mention it earlier. It's probably one of the easier ones. It's very convenient lines on it, so everything's lined up really well as far as the grain goes. So really easy to carve. Consistent, you know. Is this phone making noise? No. All right, so we have that. So I'm gonna start digging into this. I'm gonna use some of the skills that I have gained so far. I know that I need to take these corners off because we don't need all of that. So I don't want to take too much off the front here because we do know that he has a very flat face, as grays do, allegedly. If you're a gray watching, I mean, no offense. This is just firsthand experiences from people who have seen you, so I mean, no offense. Man, that's chunking. Why? Am I just trying to take off too much? Does this need to be honed a little more? Let's check it. No, it's sharp. It's just the wood. As I was just bragging about basswood being, you know, nice and easy to carve. Maybe I'm just trying to take off too much material at once. Just do these like shallow cuts. Still ripped. That's not what you're wanting, but that's a pretty severe angle I'm putting in there, so that is a user error right there. You want to take off a little bit of material, you use just less of an angle, so this is like an angle almost parallel with the wood. This side seems to be cutting much better. Not working like I want it to. Why? Did it get dried out maybe? Huh. Maybe I'm just using a bad angle. It is towards the top, so the wood just kind of like, for some reason, I don't know if you can hear that. There's a difference in the wood. It's much more dense. You know, it's like, I guess, would it be easier to carve? I'm trying to find a great example. If you had like a bunch of cords, you know? No, I can't find a good analogy for it, but everything's kind of just really tight and dense up here, so it's harder to carve into it. And when you're going with the grain at the angle parallel with the grain, it seems to be much easier. I don't know if this wood just dried out on me. Maybe. All right. I'm going to put a stop cut right underneath his chin, because I don't want to go too far and carve parts of his face off. So that's a stop cut. You kind of just push the blade in and you create this like wedge. Makes it whenever you're carving later, the blade doesn't go any further than you actually want it to go. So we've got this little angle here. I'm gonna have to take off a good bit of wood down here. I think it might be more beneficial for me to start working on the body and then work to the head, just because, I don't know, I feel like I can have a better situation there. The only tight spot will be, sorry, 1 second. The only tight spot is right here. So if I make this neck too thin when I'm trying to carve this, it's a good chance that the head will break off. So I'll wait to get down to that level. I probably should etch out. So he said his shoulders were about here. Get this gross rib situation here. Pretty thin little waist, big ribs, arms dangling that side. It's looking kind of, yeah, anyways. All right, so I'm gonna take some more material off. I need to take off a good bit, actually. I'm gonna make another stop cut here just because I don't want to line it up. I don't want it to go any further. Oh, okay. All right, so let's take some of this down. Get you a good pair of gloves when you do something like this, because very unforgiving, the blade. All right. So he's pretty wide, so I don't want to take off too much on the sides. I have to take off stuff at the chest will go in a good bit. I feel like this blade is just not sharp. Maybe I didn't hone it well enough. It's just ripping, man. That is no bueno. Let's drop this a bit. I don't like how much material's coming off without my permission. You dare come off my wood? Not today, homie. We're gonna sharpen you up right. That way the exact amount of wood that I want to come off comes off. Not that I know the exact amount, but I definitely don't want the wood to rip, which it's doing right now. So maybe it is a user error, or maybe the wood's gotten dry, you know. I can research in that. That's, you know, it'd be a first time for me. It's a wood grain. Thanks, man. I see so many people pop up here. I never see the actual comments. It's crazy because the basswood is usually pretty consistent. You know, like it's usually one of the easier ones to carve, and I've gone through a ton of it, but for some reason this one is just, it's really just ripping. Could be my angle as well, but maybe if I go in here a little bit more honed blade, maybe we'll see. I mean, that's a pretty low angle I'm using, and it's still ripping. Could be the angle. Well, this pull cut's doing a lot better. If it tears, cut the other direction. Yeah, that's usually what I try to do, especially in like finer, like if I was trying to get into some of these areas in the face, you know, you do like just a little bit here. If it starts to tear, you come back the other way with a pull cut, or paring cut as some call, I think. But I'm definitely not the most knowledgeable at this, but that's kind of what this show's all about, you know. It's a path to polymath. I'm going from zero knowledge and a skill to trying to be somewhat proficient throughout the episode. And then once I'm done with that, if it tears, cut the other direction. Yes, sir. Thank you, Stump. I'm guessing you're a wood carver as well, especially with that name Stump, you know, that might be like a pun. But yeah, so this Path to Polymath series, I go from zero knowledge in something like wood carving, whittling, to being somewhat decent at it. I'm not quite at the somewhat decent part yet. I'm getting there, you know. Like I free-made this little dude the last episode. He's just I just wanted to do like a cowboy alien. I probably could make him look a little bit better. This is my first attempt, just like raw dogging it. So now I'm just like seeing if I can actually do just without a cowboy alien, just an alien in general. I've done the normal stuff like, you know, everybody does, like gnomes and stuff. Glad you found live. Thanks, man. I'm also doing this on, I think I'm live on I'm live on, I don't really say the names, but I'm live on like the purple, the red, the blue, and then this platform as well. Normally my show is I interview people and drink beer with them, but I'm pivoting the show a bit to where I'm learning new skills, and then I'm gonna eventually interview a professional wood carver, and then I move on to the next skill, whether that's like doing mosaics, or whether that's doing pottery or sculpting, or like the faux stained glass windows, where you're basically like soldering copper and stuff onto the glass. So stuff like that. So it's just me trying to learn new skills and just kind of hanging out with you guys, and then doing interviews here and there. Hey, thanks for the follow, man. Still very new to this, the TikTok. I mean, I've posted pictures and stuff on TikTok before, but as far as using it as a platform to go live, it's definitely very new. I wasn't able to for a long time because I had under 1,000 followers, so it was a very new thing. But yeah, I've worked through a couple different, like I did this like bear, which I need to clean him up a bit. I was kind of trying to decide if I wanted to like use sandpaper or Dremel or something to kind of, clean them up and make them look a little better, or go the raw route and just have grooves cut in to kind of simulate fur, done like, like foxes and stuff like that. It's all just like little fundamental work, and now I'm just trying to do freehand, just using some of the stuff I've learned so far and seeing what I can do with it. So today is aliens, so we'll see. Or an alien. I'm still kind of torn between whether I should do this in my free time, and just come back the next episode and be just infinitely better, or grow with you guys, like as you see it. And that is, this side over here just does not like me. He's carving great this angle, man. He's carving really nice this angle. Just insane. I never get a good carve this way. But I'm looking how shiny this is compared to some of this. It's got like ingrained vibes. I mean, that's the slightest angle and it's still ripping. Man, I'm being insanely delicate with it. Just testing my blade. Okay, back to chopping. Cool idea, thanks. I use it a bit, but only done one live during a pen. Is it just, you do it just for funsies? I was always wanting to be that like cool grandpa that just sits out on the porch and makes walking sticks or whittles walking sticks. As late as I had my kid though, I don't know if I'll ever actually be a grandpa, to be honest. We'll see. I mean, you see all these gray hairs in here, and he's still little. I'll look like a grandpa. I guess that's all that matters. I'll be 60 by the time he's 20. I guess he could have a kid at 20 and make me a grandpa. wood turned ink pens. Oh, like lathe work. Hey, that'd be cool. Lathes are expensive, man. Or it can get expensive. I mean, I've seen people build their own and do it like super, super old school, like how they would have done it 300 years ago. They're literally just like stomping on a pedal to make this thing spin really fast. I think that's really cool. So after pens, I guess it depends on the size of your lathe, but you know, you can do bowls and cups and all kinds of funky stuff. Yeah, I've got a friend named Justin that does pens. I think he's kind of wanting to get back to it. He took like a bit of a break from it. I'll come in a bit on the neck. I like TikTok for its ease of use. Wood turning. I've been carving woodwork for a year or so. Oh yeah, so you're a good bit ahead of me. And how often do you probably do it a week? Like for funsies, you know? Is it like a once a week or once in a while kind of situation, inconsistent? That goes a long way. And there is like I don't know if you're into like learning. There's a Tim Ferriss who runs like, I don't think he coined the 80-20 rule. I think it existed a long time ago. And there's like the 10,000 rule, or is it the 100,000 rule? Where it says you work on anything for a certain amount of time, certain amount of hours, and you can become a master after a certain amount of hours. But Tim Ferriss is into meta learning. He's a really smart guy. I follow a lot of what he does. Puts his body through a lot of testing. But yeah, he finds the 80-20 rule. So like, think of like a language, you know, of your spoken vernacular, of what you speak on a day-to-day basis, you probably use 20% of your actual words that you know. So his thing was, in all aspects of learning, finding that 20 that's going to do the 80% of work. So he's put that to the test. I think he had a show called the Tim Ferriss Experiment, or a Tim Ferriss Experience, and he tried to learn all kinds of new things within a short period of time. So that's like languages. He did Japanese horseback archery. That for them it's kind of a big deal. It's almost like a fortune-telling Groundhog Day. Anyways, I think he was getting ready to do an interview in 3 to 4 days a week. That's dope. I whittle spoons while hunting. Hey, that's experience right there. I tried to whittle a spoon the first time and it sucked. Probably because I didn't have the right wood for it. And obviously I didn't have the skills for it either. Like I was trying to use something like this and I needed something to grab onto. So my actual like workspace was like that big. So my spoon was super tiny and it just kept snapping off. I had to, go a long way. But I tried it again and I made a really ugly little spoon. So, yeah, it's pretty bad. But, that was like the first thing I ever actually completed. So if I actually had like an actual piece of wood, I feel pretty confident with the tools I have that I could probably make a cool little spoon, put some like linseed oil on there and make it food safe. But yeah, this 80-20 rule. So he had an interview to do in Tagalog in the Philippines, in Tagalog language, the Filipino language, and he learned it while on the plane ride there, and it was like a 20-minute interview or something stupid like that. I like it. I'd hang it on my car mirror. Yeah, it's cute. It's cute for sure. I'm sure there's some coke heads out there fiending right now looking at that thing. They go to the little concerts and they have their little spoons on their necklace. Anyways, yeah, so he did the interview, you know, he found the 80-20 and was able to learn enough of the Filipino language, Tagalog, to have a 20-minute conversation. So I've always been one for learning, and I think maybe I might be doing people a disservice by only carving on the show, because I'm just airing all of my, I don't know, my imperfections or something like that. I'm airing all of that and my failures in front of you guys. And if somebody had any interest in actually, like, I guess it could be a learning experience. You know, they could learn from my failures. But sometimes people don't want to, they want to see somebody make some cool shit. They don't want to see you, like, mess up on a project over and over again, or really, like, you know, suck ass at something for a while. I might be wrong. The way I'm doing it currently is it was every Monday I was going live and just doing some carving and finding a project and working on some of the fundamentals. Now I just go on here and just carve using what I've learned so far. Probably gonna take that neck in some more. I think it's a cool video to watch. Which one? Not mine. So with these live videos that people do, you know, when they're going live and they're kind of just learning something, is it common to have some kind of, like, music in the background? Like some kind of copyright-free music? Or I know some people will just have some straight up, like, they're just hanging around their house and listening to, you know, Doja Cat or something. Or it's just dead air, or the sound of wood clicking satisfying in some ASMR situation. Okay, this is the best soup I've ever made. Yeah, my love made some cabbage and kielbasa soup, and we've eaten cabbage and kielbasa often just as a meal because we fuck hard with it, but I think it's a cool video to watch while you're learning. Some people do play music. Yeah, maybe. So, like, this particular platform you're on currently, I think that they don't really care about the music too much. But the other platforms that I use, they do very much care. So much so that on the Blue platform, I have a copyright-free song in the background playing on them, and so I'm running a phone here because my PC wasn't allowing me to stream to this platform, and then I have a camera here that allows me to change angles and scenes, and I have OBS set up and microphones. This isn't going to you, this is going to them. They definitely care, and this copyright-free song I have, it still keeps dinging me. It's like some countries don't recognize music copyrights, meta. It gives me some kind of error, so it mutes it in some countries. It is what it is, you know. You can't please everybody. The only way I can do that is if I play my own music. Which, I mean, I do have a little... Can I play it? No. Will I eventually? Yes. That's one of the skills I'm going to be learning is piano. So I'll basically just kind of learn that on my own and then play on the show. Some don't. Yeah, true. Some people play music, some don't. I'll play music, learn how to play the piano, and probably sing some too. Address a deeply seated fear of mine of singing in front of people. So that's, it's growth. It's growth on the show, and you guys are here. You're here with me for it. You can see me struggle. You can hear the vibrato shake, and it's a fear. It's a legit fear. All right, so I've taken this in a bit. I want this chest just to really poke out, and it's gonna come in a bit as well. So I'm gonna chunk some of this wood off here. I think my line was here, so I'm gonna create a stop cut just so go a little too far. So how did you learn your wood carving? Is it something you sought out, or was it like somebody else in the family did it and they showed it to you, or just you had a blade on you and you were hunting and you just said, just to kind of pass time, just started doing it, and then you researched it, or are you just completely self-taught? Do you carve what's around you? Just if you find like some pine or something like that, you carve that, or do you bring, I'm assuming you probably don't bring wood out there. But I might be wrong. You might have a project you're working on, and you pop that wood in your pocket and take a blade with you and just, go ham while you're sitting in a deer stand or whatever. This is always a weird angle just because it's so far down this way, and you don't really have a lot to grip. I learned watching Doug Linker on YouTube. So you sought that out. It wasn't something like you just had a blade and you saw some wood while out on a hunt and decided to just, pass the time. You're like, hey, I think I'd like to learn some wood carving, some whittling. You go the method of like using a bucket, like a buck knife or an old timer or something like that, like a folding blade. Yeah, I think I have a knife addiction. Fair enough. I do take wood with me. I think I've watched that guy before. He did. I don't see it anymore. I had a bird that I'd carved at some point, and I think that he showed me how to do that. Love that. Just dropping shit everywhere. Oh yeah, here it is. It was just like a simple, like, bird on a stick kind of cardinal situation. Yeah, so I think he was the one that did it. His videos are pretty easy to understand. It's just very I either have to practice it when I'm like not live, or I have to sit there and have the video playing while I'm live so I can follow along. I don't know. I feel some kind of way about that. I don't know. Let me know what you think. But I do feel some kind of way about that. All types of knives. Same on my profile picture. Yeah, I had one of my good friends. He collected knives, but specifically like hand forged, like butterfly knives. I mean, my guy had thousands of dollars spent on butterfly knives, but he does that, when he gets in. That's just like, that's the type of neurospicy he is. That's the type of autistic that he is, and we love him for it. That when he goes into something, he goes in deep, and he has no problem spending money on it and working extra hours to get the money, to budgeting to get it. So he did these like hand forged butterfly knives that were all that bird I did too. Yeah. It's a good one. I feel like I learned a good bit from it. Actually, that bird is the one I did right before I did the alien. I feel like at that point I had gotten enough confidence to do that. What do you feel about me going live and following a video and carving? I don't know. Let me know your opinion if you think that maybe is a little too unprofessional, is maybe not the word. I don't know. Anyways, yeah, so my friend, he did that with, strangely enough, he did that with yo-yos as well. So he got really big into these like custom made yo-yos, like crazy ball bearings. The material that they were made out of was crazy. He was spending an exorbitant amount of money on it. Currently, I think it's probably like limited run games is his thing that he gets a lot of. Any new game that comes out, he thinks he's gonna like it. If it's limited run, it's already on its way to his house. He's a big collector. Any of the special editions, the multi-$100 special editions, special edition consoles, special edition handhelds, he's getting them. I mean, I've got my fair share of video games, I'm not gonna lie to you. Have I played them in a while? No. Do I have a massive backlog? Yes. Just don't really have the time to play them these days. They'll always exist. They'll be around. Yeah, let me know what you think, though, if you're still here, about like following a tutorial while I'm live. Probably gonna take that in just a smidge more. He's starting to come together. I don't think this is going to be a long episode. It's probably something that I'll do over the course of a couple episodes. I think as long as you give the tutorial credit, it'd be fine. That's true. Like, hey guys, today I'm following a tutorial and we're gonna knock out this bird from so-and-so. We're gonna work on the fundamentals of the stop cut, push cut, pull cut, pyramid cut. I think there's a couple other ones in there that I don't remember exact names of them. He's real big into these, like, the guy, I think, if it's the same one, these, like, flat plane carvings. Like, using as few cuts as possible, I think is kind of the idea. That is not what I'm doing. But I've never been that way. Even when I sketch, you know, some people will just straight draw it out. I literally, like, I sketch. I'm just like line, 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 line. I do like tons of just little lines. Put that back. All right. So that's where he's at now. I'm gonna have to obviously take in some more in the chest, but I've taken some off, and I think maybe a little bit more in the stomach, and obviously a just crap ton here in the back for his back. But we're slowly getting there. I think this is probably a good point to hone this blade. I think it's probably been a good 20 minutes of consistent carving. What time is it? Actually, this might be a good time to call it quits. I got food getting cold in there. I told my girl I would be on for maybe an hour, maybe a little bit more. I think I went on at 9. It's 10:30 now here. So that's where I'm at now. All right, guys. I think it's probably a good time to call it quits. I will see you guys the next episode. Have a good night as well, Stomp. Thank you for tuning in on my little show. Thank you for the insight, the help. I'm glad another woodworker has come in. I've had other people who were interested in this kind of stuff, but I've never had another woodworker come in. So did you find me through the tag like wood carving or woodworking, or how'd you find me? Just curious. Maybe I can optimize something to where I have people who are actually like interested in this, or maybe people who know more about it than I do, and I can use that as a way to like be a learning experience. I don't know. You might have already dipped already, but if not, yeah, how'd you find me? Oh, so good. Nope, just popped up while scrolling. Oh, damn. Well, shit. Well, thank you for coming and hanging out with me, man. And thanks everybody else for tuning in to my little show. This was Trade Skills. I'm on a couple other platforms, but they all stream the same thing. So if you check out Trade Skills podcast on the red platform, if you go to the purple platform and type in Trade Skills, you'll find me. I think I'm under all of them under Trade Skills, like your trading skills. Yeah, so thank you guys for tuning in. I will see you guys. There it goes. I'll see you guys next time. Y'all have a great night. Ciao. You guys were awesome. I end a little later with you guys, only by about 30 seconds, but still, thank you guys for tuning in. I'm gonna go upstairs and buck up some sausage, cabbage soup. I'm excited about it. I hope y'all have a great night. I'll see y'all the next time I go live. Maybe next time I'll promote it a little bit better. I've been pretty bad about that, letting you guys know when I'm going live, and also like posting where I'm at and the process of all of it. So I need to be better about that. But either way, guys, I will. Here, let's take it back to this camera. Yeah. All right. So either way, guys, I'm going to end it for the night. I hope y'all have a great night. And yeah, I will see you guys next episode. Ciao.